Rory McIlroy's finally done it. Not only did he successfully defend his CJ Cup title, but threw all the competition out of the water, climbing to the top of the world rankings in a mind-blowing performance. Now that McIlroy's been crowned as the new golf king, his feud with Norman's also getting pretty heated. Today we'll be talking about the big win of the Irish golfer and also digging into the Norman-McIlroy drama. So let's dive in. First off, McIlroy regained world number 1 after winning the CJ Cup. If you know Rory, he's been pretty serious about getting back to the top spot in the official World Golf Rankings. His quest led him to win the Canadian Open and the Tour Championship to claim the FedEx Cup. Winning the CJ Cup was the only way to close this redemption arc, and he gave us all an impressive match to watch at the Congaree Golf Club. Going into the tournament, McIlroy had many chances to jump Scottie Scheffler via several outcomes, but he eliminated any doubt and bagged a 23rd PGA Tour title by producing a final round of 67 to secure a place at the top of the World Ranking Summit for the first time since July 2020. But it wasn't easy. There was a lot of big names chasing down the 33-year-old closely as he tried to defend his CJ Cup title. Beginning the final day, the four-time major had a very slim one-shot advantage over the strong trio of K.H. Lee, Kurt Kitayama, and European Ryder Cup teammate John Ram. The odds were clearly not in his favor. Next, the match was neck and neck. Through a third of the round, McIlroy remained ahead of the others with a one-shot advantage, yet failed to get a big advantage over them. For a moment, he did pull the lead to 2, but those chasing clawed it back to 1. Tied with Kitayama with 5 holes to go, fans rooting for him felt he just might not make it. Then, it was midway through the back 9 where McIlroy showed his experience and proved why he's won 4 major championship titles. What followed was an explosive burst of 3 birdies to hold off Kitayama. Yep, the reigning FedEx champion ran off 3 straight birdies and got control of the match and even finished with 2 bogeys, hardly enough to ruin the moment. The birdies on 12th, 14th, 15th, and 16th catapulted him into a 3-shot lead, which is just what he wanted. The momentum swung in the Irishman's favor, and despite a bogey at the 17th hole, McIlroy held his 2-shot advantage over Kitayama going down the 18th. When he found the fairway with his tee shot and then the green with his approach, he closed with a 4-under-67 for a 1-shot victory. Yep, despite a scrappy 3-putt followed by a bogey finish, McIlroy got to take the CJ Cup home again. Following this, the victory also crowned him the world number 1 for the 9th time. The play at Congaree turned out to be a life-changing moment for the Irish golfer. Not only did he secure a 10th top 5 in 15 starts, he also became the official top dog in the golf rankings for the 9th time. He overthrew American Scottie Scheffler, who finished tied for 45th, to see his 30-week stint at the summit sadly end. And we have to admit, even more remarkable than reclaiming the top ranking is that McIlroy's managed to keep up his level of greatness over the last decade. Over the last year, he's indeed been playing some of the best golf of his career. In his last 15 starts worldwide, he has 12 top 10s, 10 top 5s, and 3 wins, all with just 1 missed cut. And let's also look at the numbers. Since the start of 2022, the 33-year-old, with his score of over 2.7 strokes gained per round, is by far the best statistical player in the world. The CJ Cup marks the 9th time he's successfully climbed to number 1 in just over 10 years ever since his debut in March 2012. Sure, McIlroy might not have gotten any major championships this year, but he still finished top 10 in all 4 and accomplished everything else: a FedEx Cup victory, 3 wins on the PGA Tour, almost $30 million in on-course earnings, plus the FedEx Cup bonus money, and also a return trip to the top of the official World Golf Rankings. Up next, how does the star himself feel about his big win? Yep, it's been a remarkable year for the Irishman, and he's just as emotional as us all. Following the CJ Cup victory, he said, "It means a lot. I've worked so hard to get myself back to this. I feel like I'm enjoying the game as much as I ever have. I absolutely love the game of golf, and I go out there and play with that joy, and it's definitely shown over these 12 months." Speaking about his future plans, he made it clear that celebrating with his team for the next couple of weeks will definitely be on the top of his list for now, but he's not going to let the win get to his head, as he admitted that he never feels like he's figured the game out. Yet every day he wakes up and tries to get closer, and it looks like it's been paying off. While a lot has happened over the last decade, the Irish player hasn't fallen out of the top 15 in the world during all this time. And what's more is that he's just one of the 3 golfers who have a 10-year gap between their first appearance as a world number 1 golfer and their most recent. If you're wondering who else made it, the other 2 are, of course, Tiger Woods and Greg Norman. Nobody else comes even close, and they don't have more than a 3.5-year gap between appearances. Speaking of Norman, the petty feud between the two is just getting started. When McIlroy rose to the top with a 1-stroke victory at the US PGA Tour's CJ Cup, not everyone was too happy about it. After all, only 2 other golfers have had stints at the top spot that stretched for over more than 10 years. One is Tiger Woods, who had 17 years split between his first week at number 1 and his most recent, while Norman has 11 and a half years. But this is where the irony of the situation comes from. Isn't it fitting that McIlroy should be in an exclusive group that features features Live Golf chief, who the Northern Irishman has been involved in a feud with over the Saudi-backed tour. If you remember, earlier this year, McIlroy went past Norman's total of 20 wins on the US PGA Tour. After winning, our Irishman subtly threw shade at the Aussie golfer, saying, "One more than someone else, and that gave me some extra incentive to get it done." He didn't have to say who, but we all know who he's talking about, right? Norman clapped back, saying, "I take it as a compliment that Rory wanted to beat my 20 PGA Tour wins." He also added that if the 33-year-old really wants to outperform him, his next goal should be to win more than 91 tournaments globally or to maintain number one in the world for more than 331 weeks. Challenge accepted. Following up, here's where the drama gets spicy. McIlroy has remained the pinup boy of the PGA Tour for quite a while. He surely hasn't held back in attacking both Norman and his Saudi-funded Live Golf that split up the world apart into factions. While he may be motivated now more than ever to break Norman's record as a clawback to the Live circuit, he also admits the difficulty of being world number one for long. After all, there are only a small number of players who have made lengthy runs at the top, but the Irish four-time major champion hasn't lost hope. He said that the best part about getting top ranking is that it feels great in the moment, but then the bad thing is working even harder to stay there. Lastly, McIlroy's big win has set him on a new mission against Norman. With the recent climb to the top, we can tell that McIlroy's not here to fool around. He's dead set on defeating Norman's record. Last week, even before the CJ Cup, he took another shot at his rival, saying he intends to surpass his number of weeks spent at world number one. But that's easier said than done. He's starting his 170th week as world number one, and clearly has a long way to catch the Australian who spent 331 weeks at the top. And again, in classic cheeky fashion, when asked if he has an aim for a specific total, McIlroy told reporters that the number in his head was 332. Well, it's obvious which record he's gunning for. Over the past 12 months, he's been on a quest to reclaim his top spot, describing his journey as being a heavyweight boxer who lost a world title and is fighting hard to regain it. But rising to the top's the cool part. It's more tough actually maintaining the position, so this might just be the hardest part of his redemption arc. And that's a wrap for this video. Do you think McIlroy will be able to hold his top spot long enough to break Norman's record? Let us know in the comments below. Do give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification for similar videos. See you in the next one.